Yesterday, I asked you the following question. You can think about this though. What's going to happen to the water level when the ice cube with nails has melted? I can't quite tell whether that goes down, up, or not. Now, if I was a proper experimental physicist, I would have used some kind of equipment to measure the height of the meniscus of the water. However, I'm not an experimentalist, so I think we can just try and eyeball this. And if you look at it, you should be able to just make out that it drops by a very tiny amount when the ice cube has melted. Let's talk about why the water level drops a little bit. So first of all, when we add these nails, or screws as some of you correctly pointed out, to the ice cube, they add to the overall weight of the ice cube and stop it being buoyant. It's now too heavy to be supported by the buoyancy force from the water it displaces. That's why it sinks to the bottom. So if we think for a moment about the volume of water that's being displaced by this ice cube, that's equivalent to the total volume of the ice itself and the total volume of the nails added on top. Both before and after the melting, the nails or screws, whatever they are, take up about the same volume as before. There may be a tiny bit of change due to thermal expansion, but not really. So all we have to worry about is the volume the ice takes up before it melts and after it melts. Now, because ice, for quite interesting chemical reasons, is one of the very few substances whose solid state is actually less dense than its liquid state, that amount of ice we have under the water is going to take up a smaller volume once it has melted. Hence, before the melting, the less dense ice is displacing more volume than after it has melted, where it's displacing a smaller amount because the water is more dense than the ice. So there we have it. The water level drops just by a tiny, tiny amount. Now, I've tried to show this on this diagram here. I've taken a picture of right before the ice cube has melted and a picture right after the ice cube has melted. And I've drawn a horizontal line connecting the meniscus of the first picture to after the ice cube has melted, and you can see there's just a tiny little bit extra below the surface as shown on this after picture. So I hope either my sloppy diagram here or the theory behind it has convinced you that the water level will ever so slightly drop.